Hello everyone, my name is Rosamente. I am an artist and architect living in Santiago, Chile, and today I'll be showing you guys how to paint a small gouache painting. I'm really excited to share this with you guys because it's the first time I actually make a YouTube video, and I've been wanting to do this for a very long time now. For years now, I've been watching some very interesting and very helpful YouTube channels, and those have helped me a lot to motivate me to keep on going, to try to grow my social media, and also to just try out different things, just experimenting and drawing, painting, sculpting, making models and all that kind of stuff. For the longest time, I have been a marker, an illustration markers guy, and I would say that since 2007 or 2006 maybe, I discovered how to use markers. Previously, I started drawing when I was around 5 years old, but I didn't start taking it seriously until I was about 15 years old, and I took my first art class in high school during a summer course. And eventually my teacher asked me if I wanted to join the advanced art program at the school. So my junior year, I joined an advanced art class at high school, and it was that year 2006-2007 that I actually started taking art seriously and learned that I could actually move on with art and develop myself into a full-grown artist. As I said in the beginning, I'm an artist from Santiago, Chile, and I was born here, but I moved to the US when I was 9 years old with my family, and I lived in Riverside, California for just over 10 years. I attended from 5th grade all the way to 2nd year of community college. Shout out to RCC over in downtown Riverside, that's where I went. And I also went to La Sierra High School in Riverside, California. Like I said, I'm gonna be jumping a little bit and telling you guys about myself as this drawing is developed, and hopefully you guys will appreciate some of my journey and hopefully be inspired to create. Going back to a little bit of my story, I learned about like different media of art when I was a junior in high school. I learned about printmaking. It was the first time I experimented with acrylic paints. I also used markers for the first time. I used tempera paint. We did masks with like paper mache and just a bunch of different experiments. But the two things that really stuck to me were, first of all, markers, and second of all, painting. As the years progressed, I kept on developing my markers technique, and I eventually refined it quite a bit. And as you will see on my newer videos as they come out, my main focus is actually markers. But I wanted to start off with painting because it's a bit more challenging, and at least for myself, painting has always been sort of a bit scarier because since brushes, they have like, the bristles. I don't know, it kind of scared me a little bit to attempt drawing with brushes, but eventually you get used to it. I also I really enjoy mixing paints, as you can see here. It's a very tricky thing, but as you develop and you just keep practicing, things eventually they flow better, and you learn what colors go together and how to make certain effects and how to make shading and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys can be inspired. That's the main idea behind this channel. The subject right here, it was a photograph of this indigenous boy from like the Amazon region in Brazil, and I mainly chose it because a lot of the themes that I love to illustrate or paint is about indigenous cultures of Latin America. I'm deeply fascinated by them, and I think that it's a very like magical like they're very magical cultures. They have a lot of rituals and ceremonial outfits and just like bright colors that they incorporate into their cultures, and all those things really inspire me to create. I think that Latin America, and just like Africa in a way, has been really has been subject to a lot of cultural I don't know how you would say it, but I don't know, I guess a lot of their culture has been like erased or tampered with or just underappreciated. So one of the goals that I have it as like personal goals as an artist is to kind of bring out like the beauty behind indigenous cultures. I'm deeply fascinated, as I said, by ceremonial outfits, by masks, by war paint, by ornaments that people wear. And just like in this picture, you know, you have feathers from, you know, the tropical weathers of Brazil. And also I chose this child because like children are symbols of innocence, of what the future may be, and you know, all those inspiring things about life. I mainly try to focus on people and portraits or actions taken by people, and always having people at the center of everything, because to me we have the power to literally change the world or change the situations around us, and we can inspire each other to be better. And you know, unfortunately sometimes we are inspired by each other to be worse, but I try to focus on the good and what things could be. Yeah, as I said, this is my first video. I'm experimenting a lot with whether I should narrate or just have it, you know, quiet for the duration of the video. So the first, I don't know, I would say between 5 or 10 videos is going to be a lot of experimenting. Sometimes I will show my face, or sometimes I will have zoom in shots. Sometimes I will focus more on the line work, as I am right now, and just a lot of experimentation. I will provide on the description below a list of the materials I used. I used Winsor Newton gouache paints. I use a palette, and that's a very simple palette. And I have fine liners. I like the Microns. This is a graphite colored fine liner. And for my sketchbook, I use the Moleskine 5x8 watercolor sketchbook. I love art supplies, as many art people are in the art community. We are all fascinated by art supplies, but I think that the most important thing is to actually just sit down and draw. One of my favorite YouTube channels, Minnie Small, she always talks about it. It's just the hardest part is just sitting down and start working on something, because once you start seeing how the drawing or the artwork progresses, you just become more and more inspired to finish it up. So right here I'm just adding the last details on this on this boy painting, and just trying to highlight the eyes and the shadows and the eyebrows. And I'm signing the work here as a symbol of finishing up. So here's a final illustration, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Goodbye.